What's up, Money Team? My name is Ghost. This is another edition of the Weekly Prep. This is part two. I already did one with the futures. This is going to be more focused on SPY ETF and QQQ ETF. So let's get to it. Again, this is SPY, first ticker we're going to be looking at on the weekly time frame. Just want that broad perspective of where we're sitting on the larger time frame first. That's how I always start my weeks. So you can see SPY is sitting in a larger supply zone, so we are getting very close to the top of the zone, so that is something to note. And before we get into our daily zones, just wanted to check the volume. See, we are increasing volume coming into this week, which I expect to have a large increase to top it off. So let's get into our daily zones. So now we're on to our daily zones. First top of the supply zone I do have was formed on August 16th. It's that 431 to 428 level. And as we move down, we got that August 26th supply zone where it was 421 to 417.63. Some very interesting things happened on Friday. I did have this as a supply zone. We did move away from this price action, just like ES. We moved it into this new price change that happened here. So I did create this supply zone beginning of midweek. Once we got down here, I did change this into a supply zone. As you can see on a smaller time frame, you will see that we did break out. So that's why now I've changed that into a demand zone. I am going to be treating that as such until we break back below. And now we can get into our hourly time frame to find our key areas of interest. Now that we are looking at the hourly time frame, just like how I did with all the other tickers, you want to start from the top down to find your resistances and work your way to finding your supports. As you can see, we got this 431, 428 level. I'm probably not going to focus too much onto that level. Probably if we do get back in this zone here, that's when I will start focusing into levels here. But I can look at one right now. I do see this pretty straightforward zone here. There are times where I just keep it as a resistance line instead of a zone, but this one created a pretty strong zone. So I'm definitely going to watch this level if we do get back above. And if we do break above this supply zone, I do use ES a lot in conjunction with SPY, so I might wait for ES levels if we break above here, just because of how the price action moved in both directions. Not a very good solid resistance level for me to take a position or to watch. But now moving into this supply zone that we are targeting, just like ES, that's a level, and this is our previous supply turn demand now. We can look for our support levels. You can see price did stay above on Friday, pre-market. So, or after hours, I mean. So you can see why I do want to consider this as a level breakout. Just looking for areas of maybe retracement where we can look to bounce the levels. I am like in this 414.54 level. And one area I am interested is if we can get it back above, will it be this 417 level. Got that 417 level. I do want to bounce it at 414.5. And if we have to take a bounce, we test at the bottom of the zone. We break below. We look to take the other side of the trade. Another key bounce level will definitely be here. As you can see, broke back above, gap below it. We want to find these key area of interest. You don't have to necessarily, I don't personally take trades using these levels in between the zones. I always try to have my positioning done while I'm in the zone. And these are my areas of strength or weakness where I trim or target the next level. So yeah, this is pretty much it. If we do fall below here, I am going to be paying more attention to ES. That's what I was doing last week. Paid more attention to ES when we were around this levels. This is also an area I will bounce. 410.73. And then look to see if we come back and retrace all the way back to our daily demand. So those are my levels for SPY. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. And let's go over to QQQ. Now looking at QQQ ETF on the weekly time frame. First supply zone I do have is this August 15th and 8th zone. And this previous supply turned demand on the January 30th. And our lower one at December 26th. As you can see, we were rejecting here, came back, finally broke out, and now we've just been consolidating between these two zones on the weekly time frame. And now let's get into our daily zones. So now moving on to the daily time frame on QQQ. I did leave some zones the way they are. I am going to try to do an exercise with you guys so you guys do get more prepared and be able to do these type of watch lists yourselves and just be cognizant of what to look for in different zones. So for here, for instance, this is a supply zone for me. So I am looking for puts, rejections, resistance. But here I am going to show you guys something that happened during the week. It started off as a supply zone. As you can see, we got that nice rejection. We came back down. And then we got that nice reversal, mean reversion, push back out of the demand zone. As you can see right here, this wick did break out on the 27th. So when that happened that night, I did change this into a demand. So now moving into the next session, you can see I was looking for bounce levels, support levels for us to get a push back out, and which we did. So it's just something that's very small, but very critical. You guys should be able to watch, should be able to do. When you see a zone break, it just gives you that sense of what to look for. Most likely the price action has changed. Participants in that zone are not willing to sell here as much anymore. Maybe have moved their asks all the way up here now. So it's just small little things and details like that can help you make a lot of money in this market. And then we have this demand zone still there intact. Did very good job of bouncing there. So now let's get into the hourly zones so we can find some key interest areas. So again, starting from the top, our supply zone. Want to find those resistance areas, previous supports, broken. As you can see, we had this nice area here that price action stalled for a while. I'm going to keep an eye on right at the top of this, the height of. So that'll be a key area if we do push up right there, that I will take a position for rejection. And if it breaks above, we move on to the next zone. And an area below that, I see definitely right here. So those are my levels. I'm looking inside the supply zone. If we move down, you can see how easy it is to recognize where there are key interest areas. See how rejected here, came up, rejected, broke off. When this happens, it most likely will retest. We did retest, we bounced, retested again, bounced, finally broke, retest, rejection, and so far, so on, so on. So that's only the level I see right there. See if we got into any price action in between these zones prior to us getting here. So no, so really only key area I'm looking at is 326. I do use NQ in conjunction with QQQ. Pretty sure we could find another level here. I'll definitely be watching this pre-market low area here. We broke it below, came back, broke it. See how candles based above it, then here based below it before rejecting down into our demand zone. The next level now for retracements, of course, pre-market high area, and definitely just below. So those are the two areas I'll definitely be watching. Areas of strength. If you test right here, you want to use all your tools that you have accessible to you to see if it is going to be a strong bounce here or here. I definitely do favor here for smaller accounts, safer, much easier to cut your losses and switch to the other side of the trade compared to here where we can also bounce here. And then you can see this area right here where we based a lot. I'm not sure what we did in the recent price action, but I'm pretty sure, as you can see here, yeah, it was an area of rejection there. So let's go into our recent price action. Yep, another area rejection here, another one here, based a few times. So those are my levels for QQQ. Actually, that's pretty solid. Definitely going to be watching there. If we come back all the way down here, you do want to test the zone levels. Those are all areas of key interest as well. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a huge week. Went over 4 tickers with you guys, the futures and the ETFs, to help you guys get prepared for the week. If you guys did get any education, just hit like, subscribe. Hope we make lots of money coming into this week. Appreciate you guys. Peace.